Hello everybody, welcome. It's the Tall Turtle again, and welcome back to SoarvivorCraft on the Paul Soars Junior Patreon server. And we are here with Cyningstan, is that how you say it? I should have asked you pronunciation before I started. Cyningstan. And we have to be a little quiet because it's 3 a.m. in their time zone. So we're going to be a little quiet, but we'll adjust the volume as we go. And we are having an Azoic base tour of a monastery that they're building. And like all the Azoic base tours I'm doing, it's the beginning. Azoic means the beginning, before life, before anything existed. And that's what we're doing right now, is we're doing a tour before the monastery is built. So I'm going to pop into first person here. And how's it going? Oh, I like your skin. I like your glasses. Did you make that skin yourself?
Myself. It needs refinement, I think, but I made it myself.
Very nice. I like it a lot. I have to adjust my turtle helmet so I can see better, but very good. I like it very much. All right, so looks like you are building. First of all, let's get our coordinates. Where are we? We're way out there, just like I am. You're out in the corner of the world, pretty much. Well, not quite. I guess you're about 1,000 from the corners, but you're out quite a far away from spawn. Do you have any neighbors out here?
I haven't seen much of them. Abyssal Kitten is somewhere around here. Sally, he's got a little beach hut somewhere around here. But I tried to keep reasonably far away from people because I knew this build was going to get big.
Yeah, it is getting big, and I'm having an issue myself. Well, not an issue, but I built way out, and I have so many neighbors. I went to get birch trees before I met you here, and I had to go about 1,000 blocks to find birch that nobody else was in the area. It was quite a long ways.
But you only know what I was surrounded by here.
Yeah, you're in the birch forest. I should have come here first. All right. So I'll let you take away the tour. Where are we and what's going on here?
We're currently standing in the position where the church is going to be.
Okay.
I'm going to build that last because it's the biggest part. It takes up half the site. That I've built is down here where we have the crypt, which is where I put the nether portal.
Oh, yes. Perfect idea.
Quite spooky. So that's all linked up and goes back to the hub. And then, so some people will enter here and they'll come out into what's going to be a massive church. Mm-hmm. And the way you get around this place, like a real monastery, is the cloister, which is this bit here. It's actually the cloister's the walkway itself.
Okay.
Garden in the middle where there's going to be a water feature. I've not decided what kind yet, but I need somewhere to get the water for potions. Mm-hmm. The biggest building so far is here, the chapter house, which in a real monastery would be the meeting room for the monks and the prior. But I'd like to give every room a Minecraft purpose that's kind of analogous to the real purpose.
Sure.
So here we've got a map room. So any decisions about where to explore next, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can make this available. The whole place is going to be access trust so that people can get in.
Okay, awesome.
So anyone. The bit I'm quite proud of, although it's a bit too dark to see it properly, is the ceiling.
Yeah, I noticed that. I love the use of the glazed terracotta for that. That is awesome.
There's a church near me that's got a painted wooden ceiling. And glazed terracotta is the sort of best approximation I can get to that.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And the church is going to have a similar kind of ceiling to it as well. Mm-hmm. So that's all that's in the chapter house at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to make it easier for people to see the map because I don't want to have a platform right in the middle of that room.
Right.
I have to say use Optifine if you want to see the details.
Right.
Here's the unfinished kitchen. It's got the important stuff in there. The furnaces, which I'm using at the moment, but I need to furnish it a bit more and put some storage for stuff that's ready to cook. This out here is going to be the kitchen garden.
Okay.
I do have a farm elsewhere, but it'll be handy to have some things grown locally so that I can just come and replenish from the kitchen garden.
Right, yep.
to have any animals here. What I'm planning to do is try and stay within the 10 animals per farm limit at my main farm and see if that supplies everything I need. Doesn't, then I might have to find room for another 10 cows here and cows in monastery. In a real monastery, you'd have the monks and the lay brothers, and the monks are the ones who are really secluded and they do all the scribes and all the indoor stuff.
Sure.
This is big. And one unfinished section. There's no stair here, but it's called the night stair. And monks would have prayers at all hours. And especially in a climate like here in England, well, I'm here on the server looking at it now. When they went out for prayers sort of at 3 a.m. and that kind of silly time, they had the night stair so that they could get between the church and their dormitory without having to go out into the cold open air of the cloister. So there'll be staircase down here leading directly into the church.
Okay.
Other than that, if you happen to be at the church when the night falls, then you've got a quick way back to a bed. We're standing over the infirmary there, which is where the potions are going to be brewed.
Okay.
I'll put some beds in there just so that it looks like an infirmary, so there'll be extra places for people to stay. There's going to be windows here. I like wooden trapdoors as windows. I've always, ever since they introduced the feature where you could mount them vertically, I thought they made excellent windows for medieval builds.
Definitely. Yeah, I forgot about those days when you couldn't mount them vertically. That was a long time ago.
And I had to use glass, but I knew that a lot of buildings in those days, they couldn't afford an expanse of glass, so the glass wasn't particularly realistic. These are ideal, especially for things like dormer windows, like we've got up there. This will be the refectory. Like at the friary in Wolfborough, I'll be giving away free food and potions to people who need them. And they'll be kept here in the refectory where I'll put a dining table. And possibly I might put a balcony up there because the monks would eat in silence, but somebody would be on a podium reading verses from the Bible and things like that to them as they ate. So I'm thinking a balcony up there to use as a kind of lectern would be interesting. This is going to be a reasonably fine building, not as fancy as the chapter house, but more fancy than the dormitory buildings. This is the prior's house, but if I do have trouble getting enough leather, then I might have to kick out the prior and put a cow farm here.
Sure.
Prior will be me. I don't think he'll mind that much. This is the other dormitory. This is where the lay brothers would sleep. They were the ones who would do all the work on the farm, and they wouldn't be expected to go to prayers during the night and that kind of thing.
And they have their resident kitty cat, Hildegard. I love it.
Somebody kept giving me cats. They gave me 3 of them. I'm not quite sure who it was because I think they were just using Give Pet. And they weren't anywhere near me, so as I was working on the farm, these cats just kept appearing. So,
yeah, I spent 2 hours in the jungle and didn't get a single cat. So I'm envious of all the people with cats, especially when I run around. Oh well, someday I'll get out there and.
I thought you might be jealous if you saw those, because I made absolutely no effort to get them, and at the time I didn't want them particularly. I'm a cat person, but I have no use for them. So now each time I build a new monastery, because I plan to build several,
Sure.
I'll just bring one of the cats in with me.
Right. Keep the creepers away anyway.
The Tellarium, this is basically the storage room.
Sure.
I've begun to classify it because I wouldn't need this much storage once the place is built, but
Sure.
It reflects what the real monastery would have had, a decent storeroom. I'll probably start storing more food than building materials here when things get going.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I won't bother taking you down there because it's ugly and but it's my mine down there.
Sure.
I've built a level 11 mine that's extends under the whole site.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't yielded a single diamond, although I've got plenty of other things like redstone and lapis from it. So
Yeah, I still don't have any diamonds myself, although I haven't really been actively diamond hunting, but I'll get there when I get there. I'm a slow player. I'm not in a hurry to get stuff like that.
I've been I've basically been mining for stone to build places like this, and diamonds are a bonus. The main thing I really need is lapis and iron.
Sure.
Enchantments. Obviously, iron's always useful.
Yep.
I never understand watching videos where people just walk past iron and say, "Oh, it's only iron. I'll leave it there." I always have a use for
I
iron.
was just gonna say that I've never had too much iron ever. I've never had too much coal either.
The one as well. I mean, there was a time when I would use a lot of charcoal because coal is hard to find, but I find it's just as much effort to keep an orchard going for charcoal than it is to just go down the mines every now and again to look for coal. Hospitium, this is basically a guest room.
Okay.
So when I have a single guest as opposed to a party, then they can sleep in here, and it'll be a little bit more fancy than the dormitories, and possibly only have one or two beds in there. This is the place where if either visiting princess or noblewoman or nobleman, they'd be put up in a room like this, probably a bit bigger than this.
Okay.
And then back to the church. And as you can see, there's nothing here other than a floor and a crypt at the moment. I do plan to subdivide off one part of it, and that's this bit for a library.
Okay.
Can keep and give away the enchanted books. Most of the stuff I'm doing is just there to be given away. It's a kind of bribe to get people to come and look at my builds, is that you can come here and get food and magic books and potions and things like that. And so far at the Friary in Wolfbury, it hasn't really been abused. I've not had to take all the books or all the potions. So I've managed to keep up the supply and keep chests reasonably well filled. More so with potions. I mean, books, with having to get the leather together, I've had trouble, and also the XP has been a bottleneck. The main Minecraft purpose of the church is going to be enchantments.
Okay.
Because I think that the enchantment tables look a little bit like altars. So the high altar is going to be here with the 15 book cases around it. I have possibly about 8 enchantment tables in here. The rest of them are going to be here in the aisles, where I'll have little like side chapels with an altar each. Numbers of bookcases around there for cheaper enchantments. Bit of experimentation to do, because I don't know if I have 2 enchantment tables this close of the same rank, whether they would same enchantments or different enchantments. Because if I find that 2 15 enchantment tables next to each other give different enchantments, I could make them all fully maxed out, and then you could use the place to try and find that one enchantment that you need and just go from one enchantment table to the next.
Yeah, I've never thought of that before, but it's such a clever idea. Yeah, I wondered that. Yeah, I'll be curious. You have to get back with me, let me know how that works. I'm very curious how that would work.
I'll be building a second one right up here close to the main altar. This is the Lady Chapel, or it will be. It's not fully separated off from the church, but you can see a wall here, and it's going to be open at this end. So I can put an enchantment table there, right near the one at the high altar, and see if they do give me different enchantments. That'll tell me whether to fully maxed out tables further down the church, or whether to just vary the number of the bookcases to force different enchants. It's more or less, the important bit is the entrance, which is going to be up here at the west end. Although it's a bit awkward, as in it's coming straight from the birch forest, so very few people will be approaching from this direction.
Right.
I'll have to build a path around the edge. Oh, hello, creeper. I'll have to build a path from the same edge of the church, which isn't going to be bad because it will let people see more of the building. And then these little things here at each corner are the stair turrets, because there'll be a tower there in the middle. But these will allow you to get up to the roof space, where there'll be a passage to go and climb the tower. I imagine the tower is going to be about 40 blocks high, possibly 60 or 70 if I put a steeple on the top, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that yet. There'll be bells in it as well. I've got an automatic belfry mechanism that I've used elsewhere that I'd like to. It rings the bells for a little while at dawn and dusk.
Sure, that's awesome. I like that idea.
It gives people a warning that night's about to fall, or if, like as we do here, we tend to stay up most of the night to get a herald of when it's going to be safe outside. If there don't happen to be any burning zombies and skeletons to listen to.
Right. And of course, being a warning to get inside, well, it's because of the phantom problem we seem to have around here on the server. Every night, a bunch of people get slain by phantoms.
I was concerned at first that the ceilings on buildings like this would be so high that phantoms might spawn inside, but luckily I looked it up and found out that you need to have sky above
a sky and the light level 7 or below above that sky block as well. Yeah, I did a lot of research on phantoms because a group of us were pretty paranoid before the server even launched, so we did
I was at first, especially because I knew that people don't sleep through the night here, and so I thought I had to find out whether that would mean we all get phantom to death, but it worked out pretty well. Experimented with the idea of a slab floor so that I wouldn't have to light the whole area.
Yep.
Traditionally, this end of the church, the nave, would be completely empty. I mean, in medieval times, they didn't even have pews. The public would stand, and people used to use church as a place of business. They'd meet people here, walk up and down the open nave, discussing business. This was going on in this end where the choir was. So I want to keep that open feel here. And so I'm just going to have to put them like this, but I'll probably just mount them on fences so they look like they belong here.
Sure.
That's going to happen here. I don't know if you've been in the friary at Wolfborough.
I have not.
But here as well, one that works. In the friary already. Anything that you can play on 6 notes, you can play on that organ.
Sure.
With having a bit more space here, I can make one that's a bit more musically capable with 8 notes. Music that it'll be able to play, and there'll be an entrance through to the choir here from the nave, and the organ will be sitting above it. That's more or less everything here.
Yeah. Very nice. It'll be fun to come back and see all the walls built up, and like you said, the open area here, and then all the different rooms and housing quarters for different purposes. It'll be awesome. I'm glad I've been able to see this in the beginning because it'll be very different very soon, I'm sure. You've already done a lot of work, it looks like.
Yeah, about 3 days, I think. I've not been very well, so I've spent a lot more time on Minecraft than I normally would do. I've been here instead of being at work because I've been a bit under the weather, so I don't know if the rest of the site will get built up as quickly as this, especially this building, because this is going to be, and the main roof of this building is going to be about 25-30 blocks high.
Okay.
I mean, it's luckily with the way that these churches were designed, it's going to be as much glass as it is stone, so it's going to be relatively easy and not so monotonous to build. I'm not going to have to spend all my time down the mines.
Yeah, very cool. This is super awesome. I like the colored glass you have in there as well. I can see that from here.
Is the stained glass. I'm not sure I quite like the clear glass around the edge of it, but I thought I'd do an experiment on. I've done all my experiments on the chapter house, so that anything I don't like, I don't need to copy in the church. Harry has stained glass all the way to the edges.
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact that I didn't have that much dye or stained glass when I got here. And it, much laziness as anything, that I just thought I'd use clear glass around the edges just to save a bit of effort. There's so much to see here, or there will be when it's finished, that I'm thinking about making a guidebook, an English book.
That's a great idea.
And as well, I might do a guidebook on the pair of them. More people will probably visit the Friary because it's right on the edge of Spawn Town. Even though it's a lot smaller than this, but if they pick up a book there, then they'll see that there's this, and hopefully future builds as well that I'll add to the guidebook. we should just explain all the different areas rather than like I have here.
Mm-hmm. Well, very cool. And then you're already 73 blocks up, so another 40 or so will put you over 100 blocks, so you'll be well into the clouds then too, which will be kind of cool.
So I keep the clouds switched off because
Oh, yeah, clouds off. Okay.
build something as tall as that. I've built stuff this kind of size in other worlds, and now I've got annoyed that I can't actually see them because of the clouds.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I tried with Optifine to put the clouds higher up because I think naturally they should be a lot higher up.
Yeah,
than they are.
I agree. They seem very low. Like you'll be going up a hill in Minecraft, and all of a sudden you're in a mountain, and it's like these clouds should be much higher unless it's a foggy day. Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to run Optifine or not because the texture pack I use with the connected glass with Optifine, glass looks like open space, and I don't really like that. And I don't know of a way to turn off connected glass in Optifine.
Oh,
So
I managed to do it, but I'm not sure what I did.
right, right.
I think it was when I had the texture pack from, the 1.13 texture pack that they released for 1.12. I was using that
Okay.
to pack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was when I installed that all my glass became separate again, which is how I like it.
Yeah, if I can find a way, because right now I converted the red craft to work in 1.13, and then they haven't updated since 1.11, so the rest of the blocks I did myself, but I'm using their glass. And if I could find a way to figure out how to draw it so it doesn't look connected when it is, then I'll probably use Optifine. But that's a project for another time. I spent so much time on these texture packs. I'm like, I got to start playing the game. It's like I can't just.
One reason why I'm apprehensive about the clear glass around the edge of here because I know it'll link up for most people when they use Optifine.
Yep.
And it's just in the stained glass, I've made sure that no two pieces of the same color.
I noticed that. Yeah, so that won't link up. Yep.
Priory and possibly in the church here, I used a more random pattern, but again made sure that none of the glass would link up.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that won't be a problem most of the time, but I would like to be able to do clear glass windows that don't link up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
I just walked down the stairs backwards.
there'll actually be different levels here. The aisles here will be, the ceiling's only going to be about 12 blocks up.
Okay.
That's all the way along here. But the middle here is going to go up twice that height. There's going to be a clear story level. And that will have clear glass in, because in real churches it would have clear glass just because the purpose is to let as much light into the central part as possible.
Right, right.
Odd if you, well, to me who knows what they're there for, they look odd if I put stained glass in the upper windows. And they're going to connect for people, but there's not much I can do about that.
Right. I'm a musician. I have organist friends, so I knew some things about churches just from, having people in music who play organs and things. But you taught me a lot today that I did not know, and it's very fascinating. So not only was it learning your build and what you're going to do, I learned a lot about the church and monasteries and things. So very much thank you for that. It was very, very fascinating. And I'll get this video put together, and it'll be up in about 2 or 3 days from when we recorded it. And please have me back again for sure when you build up more, because I definitely want to do a comparison, because I can visualize pretty well what it's going to look like, but it's just going to be awesome with the different height ceilings and the glass ceilings and what you're going to do with that glass over there. And I'm very, very much excited to see this. This is a very large build. It's not a gigantic build, but it's a large build compared to what I've been seeing so far on the server. So thank you very much for the tour, and I guess that's it. It's a long outro, but
You'll probably see me shout it from the rooftops on here and in Discord when I want people to come and visit.
yes, hopefully lots of it, and maybe we can get a group together. I know you're 6 hours ahead of me, but maybe we can get a group together and we can do kind of like a group tour thing or something of the place when it's done. That'd be kind of fun too. But time zones are tough, like you said. I'm glad you caught me when you did, because we're 6 hours different. So thank you very much, and I'm going to sign off now. And everybody, subscribe, like the video, check out other videos. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my outro. I do this every day and I'm at a loss for words. It's late for me too. I'm normally in bed by now too. So anyway, everybody watching, I'll catch you next time.